This was so clear that this was going to happen. To run around now and throw that tantrum is pointless.
The President of the United States.
A bittersweet week for Canadians as the new U.S. administration comes in, and many look forward to the end of chaos and division. A major project that would benefit Canada's oil and gas sector goes out, the Keystone Pipeline XL expansion. Alberta's Premier Jason Kenney making multiple appearances, lashing out over the decision, even threatening retaliatory action through trade sanctions. But political scientists say that effort is futile. A real response would include addressing the reasons why it was cancelled.
He has to highlight the things that the energy industry has done to manage the environment in a more effective way than they did years ago when Barack Obama canceled the Keystone XL pipeline, and he's going to have to lead the way in terms of providing incentives.
Moshe Lander, economics professor at Concordia University, Montreal, says it shouldn't have been breaking news for the premier. President Joe Biden ran his election campaign on the very promise he would end the pipeline's future with an environmental focus.
You know, the fact that it actually happened, I think has to be one of the more unsurprising stories of the last 4 years of American presidencies.
And experts say the appearances and overall showing of outrage pander more to the spectacle of it all, rather than a real solution.
And this is indicative again of a premier that just does not seem to be interested in actually governing, but in picking fights and trying to air grievances.
I think it's time we start looking at this government's approach to pipeline politics as not being a matter of policy, but rather being a matter of politics. So the ultimate goal, it seems, is no longer to get the pipeline built, but rather to assign blame for why it's not being built.
The pipeline was a glimmer of hope at a desperate time. Alberta had invested $1.5 billion just last spring to kickstart production and another $6 billion in loan guarantees in 2021. That financial blow devastating, but perhaps the most disappointed stakeholder, TC Energy right here in Calgary. They cut 1,000 jobs this week and announced in a statement that over a decade of work on a regulatory process would be overturned. On Friday, the Prime Minister spoke with Biden in a half-an-hour phone call. They did discuss the pipeline. Kenney says he hopes to see Trudeau fight with the same passion he did when Trump threatened to tear up the NAFTA agreement.
The more times you go to the blame Ottawa well, the more you're likely to have less of an effect, right? At some point, others start to view it as crying wolf.
The almost 2,000-kilometer pipeline was designed to carry 830 barrels a day of crude oil from Hardisty, Alberta, to Steel City, Nebraska. But experts say the U.S.'s lessening dependency due to higher domestic production means it's unlikely there's any hope for its future. In Calgary, Taylor Braat, City News.